Are you waitlisted and trying to get accepted into med school? Well, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Emily and this is Med Monologues. As you know, being on the waitlist is no fun. You went through the application, you did the secondaries, you paid the fees, you've interviewed, and now you're waiting and waiting. And you're never in an area without service for too long and your phone volume's always on and you're just waiting for that phone call to say congratulations. Well, I've got some tips that I've learned along the way that can help you make that happen. First, I want to ask, did you know that waitlists can be ranked and that admissions offices can reassess your standing on that waitlist from time to time? Well, what do you do with that information? Well, you need to do everything you possibly can to move your spot up on that waitlist. Just because you're on the wait list, even though it's called the wait list, you don't wait around. You don't wait and see if you get that call. You need to do everything you possibly can to move your spot up on that wait list. So that brings me to step one. Call the admissions office. First thing I did when I found out I was waitlisted was call the admissions office and set up an appointment to speak to someone. Now I want to say, you should take this phone call seriously. You're going to be talking to someone that could improve your position on the wait list, or if they're not impressed with you, maybe do the opposite. So come prepared and treat it like a mini interview in case there are any gaps to fill in with reasons that you should be accepted. So you're on the phone, what do you ask? You ask, what can I do to make my application stronger? And now's not the time to be defensive about the answer they give to this question. You should look at it like a checklist of things to do. And this brings me to step two. Step two is to do the dang thing. It's a pretty simple step. Maybe not easy, but simple. If they tell you that you need more clinical experience, go find yourself some clinical experience. If you haven't shadowed enough people, find some people to shadow. If you haven't volunteered enough, go volunteer. You get the gist. They're basically giving you a checklist of things that they want to see to move yourself up on that wait list, and you'd be silly not to do those. After you've done those things, you move to step three, which is write a letter of intent. If you don't know what a letter of intent is, that's okay. I didn't either. A letter of intent has the goal of doing two things. The first is that you should include any updates since your interview day that you want to talk about. This would be a great time to talk about the things that you did in step two to make yourself more competitive. The second, and possibly main purpose of a letter of intent, is to restate your passion and your desire to go to that school. This would be a great time to talk about the things that particularly impressed you from interview day. Or maybe you scheduled a school tour after the fact and really were impressed by it. Or maybe you networked with a current student and really loved what they had to say. And if that school is your first choice, tell them. They love to hear that. I'm not saying lie, you should be honest, but schools don't want to let people off the wait list if they think that they're not going to go there. They want to let people off the wait list that they think are definitely going to say yes. And this is not meant to trick schools into letting you off the wait list. I'm saying if a school is your first choice, don't be shy about telling them that. It's okay to let them know. Now brace yourself, because step four is kind of cheesy, because it's pep talk time. Step four is to persevere. If the steps they give you can't be accomplished between when they tell you and the start of med school, don't be discouraged. You got to the interview. That means you've got what it takes, but maybe the stars didn't align this year. Well, take a beat, take a breath, because you'll get there if you really want to. I think a lot of pre-meds recognize that getting into med school is going to take sacrifice, and sacrifice looks like giving up Saturday nights studying for the MCAT, or waking up early to study for the MCAT, or more and more studying for the MCAT. But I think that something people forget is maybe sacrificing means sacrificing your ideal time frame. I have plenty of classmates that have a gap year or two, or maybe they had a whole career before getting to med school, and those people are going to make great doctors. So just because you need to take a beat doesn't mean you aren't going to get here. If you really want to, you will. So don't be discouraged. I've heard these tips from mentors, Google, and also just going through the experience myself. If you have any other questions about any other steps of the application cycle, or maybe what med school is like, let me know in the comments below. I hope I can continue being a mentor to you through videos like this. Until next time.